Welcome to Sunday Afternoon Porch Sitting, where laid-back conversations come to life. I'm Will.
And I'm Ryan, and we're inviting you to join us as we unwind and explore the essence of life in each episode. Welcome back, Will.
Hey, Ryan.
I'm kind of sad tonight, Will.
Why are you sad?
Well, I set up another chair on the porch this evening, and it's going to remain
Afternoon.
empty.
It's afternoon. It's not evening.
Yeah. I set up another chair this afternoon, and it's going to remain empty today.
Why is that?
Well, I don't think that Kick Nelly's going to be here this afternoon.
Kick Nelly is not.
Kick Nelly will not be in the house on the porch.
I hate to disappoint and mislead people, but he will not be with us this episode.
No, he had to roast some butt.
I was going to say he had a butt problem.
Pork butt problem.
As those of you listening probably know, if you're avid listeners, you're probably listening to this on this day. The Super Bowl Sunday is today.
Yeah. What event is taking place this week that's pretty important?
It's the Super Bowl.
That's not what I had in mind.
That's not what you thought?
That's not what I had in mind.
Oh, what'd you have in mind?
Well, let me show you.
Did you bring something? What are you getting? I thought I was the one with the surprise
Will
today.
you be my Valentine? I did. I got you a box of chocolates wrapped in duct tape.
It's a box of chocolates. It's a heart-shaped box wrapped in duct tape. Oh, my goodness.
Happy Valentine's Day.
Well, thank you very much. I didn't get you anything.
Well, that's unfortunate.
It's not Valentine's Day.
But that's the big event that's taking place this week.
This week, okay. But also the
Not
Super Bowl.
tomorrow. Well,
You're right.
okay.
You mean today?
Yes.
It's Sunday
today.
afternoon.
Yeah, it is Sunday afternoon.
Yeah.
What do you think are going to
Ryan,
be some of the...
before we go on, I just want to say that is very sweet of you. Thank you.
You're very welcome.
Thank you. Did you have that bought a while ago?
No, I've had it bought
plans
for like
changed
weeks.
or something?
No.
Okay.
Like I got that because I was like getting headphones at Walmart, and I was like, I'm going to go and get Real Wass some Valentine's Day candies, and
you were gonna get.
I was gonna ask Real Wass if he wanted some Valentine's Day candies.
I do. Thank you so much. That means the world to me. This also kind of reminds me of. I ordered some Girl Scout cookies recently.
Did you?
Yeah, my cousin's
for
daughter.
Me or for you.
Yeah, for you.
Oh,
yeah,
okay.
I did. How did you know?
I just got you these candies.
He did.
I was wondering if that was the.
I ordered these online, right? And because they live down in the Austin area, and ordered them on. I was like, I can't buy any because I'm not near you. And my cousin said, well, good news. Yeah. You can order them online.
Yeah.
So he sent me the stuff for that, and I ordered it online, right? And it's coming in shipping. And this was actually right before we started recording our first episode.
Yeah.
And I got a call from a spam number, it said. And the spam number, as we're recording the episode, said, hey, there's been some fraudulent activity on your account. We've closed it. Call this number to let us get it straight for you.
Yeah. Did you call it?
I did.
Okay.
Closed out my card and all that stuff. We were going through and talking about which was your most recent purchase on here, which was the last one that was you. Mm-hmm. And so I'm looking at my account. Okay, well, it's this Venmo thing, but what was it that, and I said on there it was Girl Scout cookies. So now I'm wondering, did the Girl Scouts fish my card?
Probably. They'll do anything to try to make a buck.
They may have fished my card.
Yeah.
Those Girl Scout cookies cost me at least another $130, and I only bought 4 boxes.
Well, you get what you pay for.
You're right. Well, I can't wait to open up these chocolates. Yeah. Unfortunately, I cannot open them right now.
Why is that?
Well, because we're recording this podcast, and
you just don't want to open.
And I don't want to start talking with my mouth full.
Gotcha. Yeah, you don't want to get chocolate on your fingers.
I don't.
That's pretty expensive. Soundboard.
Ryan, tell me about your week.
Man, it's been a great week, Will.
Yeah.
I didn't have an exciting week like you did. I got to kind of stay home. I did find us a potential, supporter for our podcast.
That's great. Did you give them our email address?
I did. sapspodcast@gmail.com.
Yeah.
SAPS podcast@gmail.com.
I was sitting here thinking, is he going to spell it Gmail? In my mind, I'm trying to spell it, and I'm like, I don't think I can do it.
Well, if Jamie Whitley from Schilling Real Estate's listening to this episode,
that's Amy J. Itley.
I was going to go with Whammy Jitley. And you want to support this podcast, by all means you can. Maybe that's who we should have had come out tonight, since Kick Nelly wasn't able to be with us.
And I don't want our listeners to be too disappointed. We understand Kick will be with us shortly, but a lot of people were anticipating him on this one.
Willie, because when people start canceling, I really start to wonder.
We have to. What do you think he canceled because he listened to the first 2 episodes and said, I really, really don't want to put my name to this?
It might be just the porch color. We've got to repaint the porch.
Oh, I thought it was maybe I just didn't have a ceiling fan outside.
Well, that could have been it too.
On the porch. Or maybe he has something on.
But you've got one of those swamp fans.
One of those swamp fans.
Yeah, the misters that blow the swampy water air at you.
Oh, my goodness.
You know what I'm talking about?
I do.
Yeah. So, my week was very calm. It was pretty chill.
Well,
I met with a realtor. That was fun.
Yeah. You're about to get into a big part of your life here.
I'm fixing to embark on the journey of home ownership.
Yeah.
Yeah, so big things ahead, I hope.
You just are not deep enough in debt right now.
No, I want to be more in debt. Yeah. So I have no debt right now, and I want to be in the debt.
Well, let's talk on this. Is it a buyer or seller market?
I would really say that it's not super like 100% a buyer market right now.
Yeah.
But the thing about it is there aren't as many people that are in the market to buy right now. So the broker that I'm using for the mortgage, with 5 years, you can do a refinance. So when it does, interest rates and stuff on the loans go down, I'll have the opportunity to do a refinance for free through this broker that I'm using. So in essence, the price of homes are not going to go down. But the thing that I'm looking forward to is when I was talking to the realtor this week, he was saying that Texas is experiencing, I think, a 2.6% growth, per year. Mm-hmm. And Tyler itself is at a 3.3% growth per year. So I feel really pretty good that, the market in this area is only going to get better. So I'm looking for a house. I'm looking for one of two things. Either a house that I can flip and then maybe in 5 or 6 years sell at a higher price, or he gave me an idea that maybe to go get like a duplex and me live in one side of that, and then have the other person that is a tenant in that duplex pay basically the mortgage, me stash some cash back for 5 or 6 years, and then get another investment property. So it's an option too.
I feel like this is a good time to tell our listeners this disclaimer that we are not offering you any kind of financial advice, and everything that we do offer you or advise you on is at your own discretion, and we are not responsible for any bad bets or investments that you might make on our advice.
We're just talking about it.
I want to say a little Dave Ramsey moment here. I guess I've never heard anything with him. By the way, Dave, if you're listening, you can email us at sapspodcast@gmail.com if you'd like to be a sponsor for our show, for your podcast.
I don't think he likes to spend a lot of money.
You're right.
I don't know.
Well, good. We're cheap, so it'll be okay. I do want to say, I think it's a great move for you. My grandparents always told me that the best investment you could ever make was buying a house, because it's only just going to go up in value. And, we built ours, oh man, when was it? 12, 13 years ago, something like that. And I know it's 1 year less than we've been married, but I can't remember. No, it's 1 year less than we've been married, but I can't remember. Oh, it's 13. So 12. So my house is 12 years old. And, within 10 years, it had already doubled in value. Of course, the appraiser thinks that anyway.
I agree that it can be a really good opportunity to invest. I'm scared to death because it can also be a really, really bad one depending on what place you purchase.
It is kind of one of those things that, having lived in an apartment or duplex, it was nice where, something went wrong, you call the superintendent or whoever to come over to fix it for you, and they take care of it. And now it's like, oh, I've got to do it myself or call somebody to fix it. And if I call somebody to fix it, it's going to, and I also want to bring this up too. It's kind of segue into this because this is what my mind does. Those listeners that are listening right now probably think that I have ADD or ADHD or something like that. I cannot stay on track, and I'm sorry about that. But that's our podcast.
And I think that's kind of both of us.
A little bit, yeah.
If I get something on my mind, I kind of tend to interrupt to speak something into existence.
I don't think
have you noticed that before?
No.
Okay.
I've listened to the first two episodes and I haven't thought that.
Maybe it's just me.
Well, I was going to say, YouTube.
Yeah.
A lot of people, I've read some things that a lot of people, and I do this too. There's something wrong with your car, and you can look it up online, see how to fix it or whatever, and you can kind of diagnose from there. Is this something I think I can do or not? And you can save a ton of money.
Oh yeah,
just doing that. I mean,
yeah, I'm sure. Like if you've got a hot water heater that goes out, you can go online and look it up and see.
Okay,
how do I fix that?
I did, and it was beyond my ability. Okay.
Like, was it the soldering or was it the...
Oh, my goodness. It wasn't that... Are we... I wasn't planning on going into this tonight. Do you want to go into this tonight?
What?
What you're going into?
I'm
the
not
story
going
of
into
the
anything.
water heater. We keep bringing it up.
You can bring... If you want to go into it.
No, we're going to hold off on that.
Okay.
The story of the water heater is going to be at least in episode 4 or beyond.
If you come back. Did you check out our stats, though, for real?
No, I didn't.
I'm not trying to segue into this, but...
So we're going to go back just a little bit. You said that I had an exciting week. I've been out of town since Tuesday afternoon.
I want to know about where you've been.
Well, I've been out of town since Tuesday afternoon.
Where'd you go?
Got home at I got home just an hour ago.
Yeah,
actually, and then you showed up shortly after that, and we got out the equipment. I ate a quick dinner, and we are recording this podcast right now.
So where did you go?
I went to San Antonio.
Oh, really? That's
did.
where they have that big, nice river walk, right?
I did that. That's the first time I noticed it this episode. I'm sorry, everybody. Didn't mean to do that. They have that nice river walk. They've got a lot of great restaurants, a lot of tourist attractions, a lot of tourist traps. There's something else there I keep forgetting.
Do you consider yourself a tourist with as many times as you've been down there?
No, I feel like it's my second home.
Okay.
We go down there. Well, not you anymore. You go down there once a year back.
Yeah.
I go down there at least 3 times a year now.
Yeah. That must be nice.
But I don't get outside of the downtown area.
So I was a little disappointed and upset. I was scrolling through Facebook the other day, and I think it was Wednesday morning at 8 o'clock. I noticed that you all were like first in line at Shiloh's, and I was bummed out.
Well, I'm going to say something. We were first in line, but we were not the first customers.
Oh, okay.
Shiloh's, if you're listening, you can
sponsor this podcast.
Sponsor this podcast.
Email us at sapspodcast@gmail.com. Should I spell it out again?
You know what? Do you want to go food way on this? Like I can go food on this podcast if we want to talk about some good restaurants in San Antonio that I've eaten at.
Well, yeah. I mean, this trip.
This trip. We went to Shiloh's for breakfast on the first day. I like their sweet cream pancakes. They're really fluffy, and I really like those. But we'd made a post, hey, we're first in line here at Shiloh's, because they changed their opening time. They don't open until 8 a.m. now.
Yeah. It used to be 7.
Yeah. So I found that out this summer when I showed up at 7 along with like 10 other people that were there too. And they're like, yeah, they don't open until 8. So they just told us to wait here. They would try to open at 7:30, and that's what they did. But they didn't actually come by and take our orders until 8 o'clock. We just sat in the restaurant for 30 minutes.
My goodness.
But it's worth the wait. It's a delicatessen that's there. It's a German deli.
Their lunchtime food is really good, too.
Yeah, they have a really good Reuben. Their deviled eggs.
Their split piece soup is phenomenal.
Yes, it is.
Oof.
They have they make their own root beer.
Yeah.
Also.
I've never had that.
It's good. It comes out in a
root beer.
Really?
I detest it.
Oh, man, I love that. Not that you detest it, but I love root beer. They bring it out in like a cold mug, frozen mug. Iced mug, I guess. But there was a group that had already been in there that morning having a meeting. And then we knew somebody in that group, and they came out and said, hey, just let you know you weren't first here.
Can I put a pause on this for like 2 seconds?
Yeah.
So, I always, childhood misconceptions, we were talking about that last episode. One of my childhood misconceptions was that root beer is actually beer made from roots.
You're right. I thought the same thing.
Anyway, go ahead.
Well, I also thought that it was just non-alcoholic beer. that they
Can't
took
have that either.
the square root of beer, which is just root
Alcohol.
beer.
Yeah. Oh.
Yeah, I thought that's what it was either. Okay. I just realized what you just said. Well, yeah, so we went there on the first day. That's where I love to go to breakfast.
Yeah.
They're sweet cream pancakes, like I said, that's really good. That's what I enjoy. They do, oh man, they have so many other options that I cannot think of right now. So anyway, other food stuff in San Antonio. Do you want to hear about it?
Yeah, I did it.
So most everything that I go to at San Antonio, I try to stay away from the Riverwalk food-wise because I just think it's too easy to get to.
It's too mainstream.
Yeah, and they take advantage of it where the quality isn't going to be anything that you're going to be like, oh my gosh, this was so good. Mm-hmm. Now, Boudreaux's on the Riverwalk is good. It's a little bit more upscale. Like it's a little bit more, you're paying a little bit more for it. If we think about things like Saltgrass and Landry's.
Lowry's is a
seasoning salts.
If anybody from Lowry's is listening to this podcast and you'd like to, help us out, email us.
I mean, Rainforest Cafe, Dick's Last Resort.
Yeah.
There's a Margaritaville, Yard House, all that stuff in the mall there.
And I'm not saying those aren't good, but I like the hole in the wall places.
I do too. Something more local. Now, like Casa Rio and is it Casa? I did it again. Sorry, Casa Rita.
Yes.
Yeah. Those two places are just okay. Casa Rita has like a lot of different flavors of margaritas. Like there's an avocado one that was pretty good.
Sounds like something I'll never be able to drink.
You're right. Iron Cactus is a restaurant that's down there. It's decent.
It wasn't my favorite.
It's decent. I didn't say it was like.
It's okay. Now I will tell you my favorite place that was like a hole in the wall spot on the river was Rio de Gelato. Do you remember that place?
Yeah, it wasn't on the river though, was it?
Well,
are you talking about where
locations?
You're right.
They moved from the Riverwalk down to I can't remember the name of the street that they had moved to, but they're shut down now, so it doesn't really matter.
Yeah, they're a different restaurant. I actually walked by there. You're talking about that pizza place that did gelato that we used to go to. Yeah, and they had
legit Italian guy owned it.
Yeah, they had cannolis also. Mm-hmm. It's now a Thai place, I think, or it's a sushi type place or something. I can't quite remember. I went by there and I thought I want to give it a try.
Yeah.
So some places that I've been to that's off the beaten path. Dough Pizzeria is really good, Neapolitan style pizzeria is really good. There is a Maverick, which is a Texas, and I'm going to butcher this, but this is what it looks like to me. Brazier, but I mean brazier is a clothing item, right? So am I saying that wrong? Is it a brassiere? I like to think it's like it's a mix between Texas and French.
Boissé?
No, I'm not talking about the word. I'm talking about the style of food that it is.
Okay, I got you.
But it looks like brazier. That's how it's spelled.
Oh, okay.
They have a really good bar cocktail menu that you know all about that because you can't have it. But their food is pretty good.
Yeah.
There's a place right next door that we've been to called Rosario's.
Yep.
That's really good. They do like a chicken flautas where they like cook it over an open flame or something. They don't fry it. They don't bake it. I guess, what is that? Grill it, I guess. I don't really know their process, but that's a good place to go.
What was the name of that restaurant that we got dinner at that was sponsored by that travel company?
Oh, it was Boudreaux's.
Boudreaux's. Was that Boudreaux's?
Yeah, you're talking about the Bob Rogers event.
If anybody from Bob Rogers is listening to this podcast to see if you'd like to sponsor the podcast.
We're just going to change the podcast to We're Looking for Sponsors podcast. If you're this, we can be our sponsor. Yeah, they that's a funny story actually because I was one of their customers. Our school used them for travel. We went to Ireland and later on we went to Scotland using them. We also did a trip to Disney World using them as our tour travel company. And they always did, like they've given me, like you've seen my luggage
your suitcases
before. Yeah, I've got 3 different luggage things from them, a backpack. They used to send a box of chocolates every Christmas.
Actually, that is Bob Rogers.
That's Bob Rogers, the heart with the duct tape. I still can't believe you got me that. But during this event, they would have a dinner for their customers, and they just, it's not a, hey, when are you going to travel again? But hey, we want to thank you for your business. And so they took us to Boudreaux's. And I remember telling you, you were like, what are you doing tonight? And I said, oh, I've got a dinner over at Boudreaux's.
Would not say anything to me about where you were going at all.
I didn't tell you it was Boudreaux's?
No.
I just said I've got a dinner.
You got a dinner. And I'm like, okay. And I text you, I'm like, so what are you doing afterwards? Well, I don't know exactly what time this dinner is going to be over with. I said, well, I don't know what time our dinner is going to be over with too, but we could hang out afterwards. And you just didn't say much. It's kind of like you ghosted me, it left me on red.
And I don't know how, but maybe you had talked to them also or something, and they invited you. You got the same email or something, but it was at Boudreaux's, and
My
I
coworker
sit down.
did.
I sit down to eat, or I sit down at a table with. I don't know if I was with somebody else.
Your wife.
Oh, so that was the year my wife went.
Yes.
Okay, so I wasn't even at that school that took the trip. It's a different school I was with, a previous school.
Yes. And I walk in,
and here
I'm like, hey,
here you walk
Will.
in. I'm like, what
Didn't
are you
know
doing?
You
here?
were going to be here this evening.
Did you really not know I was going to be there?
No, like you didn't say anything. You left me
cannot
on
believe.
red.
Yeah, I cannot believe that we ended up at the same restaurant, the same thing, because of that. Let's go back to restaurants real quick. I found a new place. I didn't find it. I got told about it by last week's guest.
Yeah.
It's a pizza place. I don't remember the name of it. Something Vesuvio.
Okay.
We were like, don't you mean Vesuvius? And he's like, no, it's Mount Vesuvio. And we're like,
just go with it.
Yeah.
Was it good?
It was good. I gave it I think I gave it a 7.3.
Yeah.
On the One Bite.
Why not
app.
a 7.4?
Well, I don't like giving even numbers. It's weird. I got to be odd.
It's kind of like me going through this self-checkout at Walmart. I want to keep them on their toes, so I'll give them a 5 stars one time.
Or 1
and then
star.
the next one I'll go 1 star.
Yeah.
Today was a 5-star night.
Oh, that's good. Yeah. That's good. Next one will be 1 probably. I can tell the future.
Oh, yeah.
No, it was good pizza. The crust was really thin.
Uh-huh.
And I'm going to call it the handle, the outside of the crust, right? I don't know what it's actually called. It was kind of thick, but not like, it was a good handle, right? Except it was super hard. Like it was crunchy, but it was super hard. Like it was hard to bite through. Like
so do you have to go see your dentist this week?
I'm thinking about it.
Okay.
I've got one tomorrow for 2:30.
Ouch.
Ouch.
I've got a cousin that is a dentist.
Really?
Yeah.
Crenist?
Crenist, yeah.
Cool. That's cool. Sorry. All right. I meant to say Rentist K.
Rentist K.
Sounds like tooth decay, kind of. Let's see. Another place.
It's Dr. Piercy. Joel Piercy. So if anybody from Joel Piercy Dentist's office is listening this evening, you can sponsor this podcast.
We make smiles better. No, we're not doing the ad for them. They haven't sponsored yet.
No. But he used to hurt, man. When I was a kid, that's who I saw. He was my dentist. And he didn't cut the family any slack. It hurt.
Wow. He's like,
maybe that's where my PTSD from going to the dentist comes from.
You wrapped my Valentine's Day gift in duct tape. I'm gonna make your teeth hurt.
Anyway, go back to the.
Let's see. There's Mi Tierra's.
Yeah.
That's off the beaten path. I wouldn't say the food is really what you go to for that. Maybe the bakery. Their bakery is really good.
Yeah.
But the atmosphere is a lot of fun.
Well, even like non-Main Street place. Of course, the Menger Hotel in San Antonio is iconic. It's
right.
historic, But the Colonial Room restaurant there is actually pretty good. Have you eaten there?
I haven't.
You need to go check that out sometime.
There is a place across the way from downtown, kind of over where Mi Tierra's is, that direction. It's called Fat Tummy, and it's an empanada place, and it's actually really good. A friend told me about that place.
Was that Renard Bosenberg?
No.
Okay.
No, it was Erig
Lancashire. Barry Lancashire.
They're probably like, please stop saying my name. It's almost like I ate at this pizza place with how do I say this? Sam Silver. Sorry, I got the letters mixed up. Sam Silver. Yeah. There's a couple places that have been featured on TV. I think Fat Tummy's been on TV. At Meteor's Bakery, I think, has been on there. There's a
Sam,
place.
if you're listening to this podcast real quick, send us an email saying Bluebell. That way we'll know if he's listening.
You're right. He is. Well, anyway, he is a future guest, by the way.
Well,
Say Oversay.
Yeah.
Yeah. Let's see. There's a place called Hot Young,
Uh-huh.
which is like a Asian bistro. Not bistro. I made that sound. Sorry. Gastropub. That's what it's called.
Okay.
And
Do they sell like pho and that kind of stuff?
I think they do. I think they do like a rotating menu. But they were on the Food Network show, Best
Like
Thing
on
I
Lazy
Ever
Susan?
Ate. No. Like a here's the food for this week. Oh, it's still on Monday. Let me rotate it over a little bit. Here's this week's Tuesday meal that we made. Oh my goodness. So it was on the Best Thing I Ever Ate. It was like their crunchy fried chicken or something.
Yeah.
It was like a Chinese fried chicken.
Would you put that on the same level as the Nashville hot chicken that you got here in Tyler?
Where did I get that?
I guess it's Nashville hot chicken.
Oh, you're talking about when I was on the phone with you, and I was like, no, this was so much better than that.
Was it?
Yeah. There's another place that's a little bit of a drive, and I think it's still open. I hadn't been there in years. It's called The Cove, and it's a car wash, bar, restaurant, combo type thing, and they do locally sustained organic foods.
Yeah.
And so it was actually really good. They have a lamb burger. That's what they're famous for.
Uh-huh.
Why are you laughing at that?
Just, I've heard of a glam burger. I've heard of a hamburger, but I've never heard of a lamb burger.
Yeah.
Is it like a Lamborghini of hamburgers?
It's up there.
By the way, if anybody from Lamborghini is listening to this podcast.
Oh my goodness, I can't believe. Oh, so many people are turning off our podcast because they're like, oh, they just want money. So if you'd like to send us money, our email address is sapspodcast@gmail.com.
We should create a
I don't know if you can send money
Venmo.
to Gmail. Yeah, we should. Here's
Cash
our
app. Here's our cash app.
All right, one more place. We'll move on.
Okay.
There's a hamburger restaurant called Chris Madrid's, and it's a local favorite. It's about 10 minutes from downtown.
Okay.
And they make burgers. The burger restaurant makes burgers, I know. And they have like a skirt of cheese. Like they put so much cheese on it that it melts off, and you're talking like it is a circumference, and I think that's the right one. Yeah, circumference around the burger of like 3 more inches.
So how do they sew that together?
What do you mean sew it?
It's a skirt of cheese. I mean, you have to sew skirts.
I can't believe you right now. Just stop. They have a tostada burger that I really like, where they put tortilla chips and refried beans.
Like Cool Ranch Dorito tortilla chips?
No, just tortilla strips.
Wouldn't it be so good with Cool Ranch Doritos?
It'd probably make it even better.
Yeah.
But it's really good. Refried
See,
beans
Taco
on a
Bell
cheeseburger.
picked up on that.
Yeah.
And they're like, you know what? We should
The
dust
Are you talking
our...
about the Cool Ranch?
Yeah.
They don't even have it anymore, though.
Nuh-uh.
They just do nacho cheese. They do not
That's
do
disappointing.
Cool Ranch. I know.
That was my favorite kind of taco.
I know. You haven't been there in a long time.
Well, with my stomach.
They don't have alcohol.
If anybody from Taco Bell's listening to this podcast.
Yeah,
Okay.
so I was in San Antonio for the week. It was a good time.
Is there anything new that's there that I haven't seen in a while or that was exciting?
The Henry B. Gonzalez Convention Center,
Yeah.
they've got like a park beside it. And in fact, that back area where the tower is,
Yeah.
I guess it's a little bit away
That was
from the
all under
tower.
construction.
Yeah, so they've got like a duplex there.
Oh, wow.
Not a duplex, a condominium type place.
Yeah.
A small rise, not a high rise, but a small rise, with a bunch of little restaurants and wine bars. There's a coffee shop that's over there that I went to, tried it out. So it was a cool little area they're turning that into.
That's
Still doing a lot of construction on that one road.
We'll
that
have
we
to go
going.
check that out next time we're down. Yeah.
The scooters still work.
Do they? Speaking of that, Will.
Yeah.
So how
Oh, they've got another brand of scooter down there.
what is it?
And there are so many more scooters now than there have been recently.
What brand is it?
I don't even know.
Lime?
Vio
Bird?
or Evo or something.
No. Are they battery powered?
Yeah,
Like the rest of them?
like the rest of them.
Well, that's cool. So did you take any cool pictures or anything like that while you were down there?
I did. If you I know you visited our Facebook page or seen it probably.
No, I don't think I have.
You haven't. Well, by the way, listeners, we have a Facebook page. We have an Instagram page. The Instagram page doesn't get updated that much because I don't use it that often, so I need to do that better at that. And I know you can do both, but sometimes I don't put a picture, and I don't know how to get that to Instagram.
Unfortunately, I have to comment as my own self because I don't have administrative rights to our shared podcast.
You are right. I should change that. But we have a Facebook page, and I posted a picture on there that is the exact spot that the famous incident from episode 2 happened. And I recreated it, the infamous scene of the wreck.
When I wrecked,
I made sure that my elbow was touching the ground in the picture.
When I wrecked, were my brake lights on?
I don't know, but yes, because it was nighttime.
Did the airbags go off?
There are no airbags.
Dang, that's why it hurt so bad.
That is. I did have somebody with me. I can't say his name in the correct order, so I have to say it in the backwards order to kind of hide his identity. It was Sam Silver. And I had him look at the concrete, and there were 2 areas that it could have been, right? I had him look at both, and I was like, does this look like it's a dangerous thing? So maybe they've come there and fixed it.
Did he confirm that?
No, he said it was not dangerous. He did not think it was.
We need to get somebody. If there's anybody out here that is an insurance adjuster or a insurance advisor, maybe it might not be a bad idea for you to take a trip with us to San Antonio to see this certain spot.
Yeah, and if they want to sponsor the podcast, they can email us.
It's podcast@gmail.com.
Well, since we're talking about Facebook, I thought, hey, let's get our listeners involved in the show. I'm going to check our email first. I just wanted to see if we had anybody write into our show, so I'm just going to open up. And
I did have a couple of text messages.
No, we did not get any emails. Okay, so there's no emails, and let's see. So I put this on our Facebook page, and we had a couple of viewers. Nope, not viewers, listeners. Write in and answer the question. Did you see this?
Yes, I did. I commented on it.
Oh, you're right. That's
with my real name and my real identity.
Ian Ray. The question was
Ryan Rackenturf.
Yeah. Don't say your last name. I have to edit that out, I guess.
Rackenturf.
Oh yeah, okay. I thought you said.
No.
All right. So don't edit that part out.
Go ahead.
Okay.
What was the question?
What was the best vacation you ever took and why? All right. So here's we had 2 listeners write in, and I'm going to read them off. Our first listener is Kathy. New York City. She says, coming from East Texas, it was a new world. Loved everything about it. Great coffee everywhere you go. The Metro, Broadway, Chinatown, Little Italy, Brooklyn, the New York Public Library, Greenwich. How do you say that? Greenwich Village?
Yeah, Greenwich Village.
Yeah, I figured that's how it's pronounced. Pizza. New York pizza. I can go on to that. Anyway, the food and spirit of the people are like none other. I also must mention the patriotism. She was shocked that apparently New Yorkers are actually more patriotic than Texans.
Oh, wow.
And I think New Yorkers are very prideful people.
They're proud people. Especially
of their city and area.
Yeah.
Anyway, so many cultures, and you realize the true meaning of melting pot, and it's a beautiful thing.
Yeah. Let me guess the second one where they said Smoky Mountains.
Who?
The second post.
Oh, I thought you meant New York. I was like, that's nowhere close to New York.
But the Appalachian Mountain chain does run through New York.
So Travis said that
Smoky
they
Mountains.
like going to the Smoky Mountains of Tennessee. That's like the second favorite place that people think of. Why?
Because I grew up there.
In the Smoky Mountains?
Yes. It's in Appalachia, which is in the Appalachian Mountains.
Don't they have blue people that live in the Appalachian Mountains?
In North Carolina, yes, there is such a thing as like the blue people.
Wow.
No, I mean
not the Blue Man
not
Group,
really much, no, like legit blue people.
Yeah,
yeah, it's kind of
they are. Blue Man Group's legit blue,
painted blue.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So Travis says that Smoky Mountains of Tennessee has to say that it's the family time he gets to spend with his wife and kids and the memories that are being made.
Yeah.
You know, that if you're not doing vacations like that, you're doing it wrong. You know, if you're not making
three
memories.
times a year.
What, vacations?
I go to the Smoky Mountains.
Oh, you do?
Oh, yeah. I'm going in 2 weeks.
Why do they call them Smoky Mountains?
Because the fog from the temperature deviation that is created outside our higher elevations are pretty cool. And I guess the humidity, it creates a fog that's over the mountains, and it looks smoky almost every morning. It's pretty cool.
Does it last throughout the days or just morning?
No, the sun burns it off.
Okay.
Yeah.
Now, does the Appalachian Trail go through there too?
Appalachian Trail goes right through the town that I grew up in.
Severville.
No.
That's
and
in
it's
Tennessee,
severe,
though.
but it's Sevierville.
Oh, I'll never get that right. Where did you grow up? What town?
Unicoi, Tennessee.
Unicorn, Tennessee?
Unicoi.
Unicoi.
Yes.
Oh, okay.
Cherokee word, Valley Beautiful.
Oh,
yeah.
That's what that means?
Mm-hmm.
That's really cool.
It is.
I did not know that it was a Cherokee word.
It is. There's a lot of Cherokee influence there. My great-great-great-grandmother was full-blooded Cherokee. Cool history there. Anyway.
Your 3 greats?
Yep.
That's cool.
Yep.
My great-grandmother, I think is my great-grandmother, might be great-great, was Choctaw.
Yeah.
Full blood. So.
Is that from Hochtown?
Yeah, from Hochtown.
Wood mill?
That's her.
Yeah.
The what?
Lumber mill?
The lumber mill.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah. We're in that. Anybody that's been to Hochtown or Beaver's Bend, yeah.
If anybody that works at Beaver's Bend National Park is listening.
The government's not going to sponsor this podcast. Pretty sure that's government related.
Yeah, could be.
You're never going to guess what changes they made to the Alamo Dome since we've been there.
Nothing.
Yeah.
They got a new turf.
You guessed it. I can't believe it. Did they get new turf?
They're supposed to.
Oh.
Supposed to be redoing the field.
Yeah. Well, do you want to talk about the Super Bowl?
I don't know.
Are you excited about it?
I'm not a football fan, but
but everybody knows.
I'll tell you what I am excited about is the commercials that are going to be coming.
Yeah, I always look forward to those. As a Cowboys fan, that's all I've had to look forward to the past 30 years.
But this year, Reba McEntire's singing the Star Spangled Banner.
Okay.
Yeah, that ought to be pretty good.
I forgot who's doing the halftime show.
I don't know.
We should probably look that up. Our listeners are like, look it up, you morons.
Well, I'm sure Scare Me Trickle will be like, you're looking it up on your phone right now. It's taking too much time.
And it's taking too much time.
Yeah. No, there was other big news that I was kind of concerned about, man.
What's that?
That took place this week. Did you know that they found a Cold War era fully assembled rocket in somebody's garage in Washington, Bellevue, Washington?
Wait, did you say garage or crotch?
Garage.
Okay, because crotch was going to be an entirely different reaction.
Garage.
For me. Yeah.
And it was in the home of a deceased resident. It was purchased from an estate sale.
Oh my goodness!
How does one purchase a Cold War era rocket?
What kind of like a big rocket?
It says a report of a military grade rocket was found in the garage of a home in a city across from Lake Washington.
But what I'm asking is, when you said like a Cold War era rocket, I mean like
it's not
one that
small.
You can put.
No, it's not. No.
Oh, okay, yeah, you're right.
Small. It's pretty big.
So like one they would hide underground and like it fires missiles.
Yes, it's about the size of
or rockets in this case.
I would say a Volkswagen Beetle. Maybe.
Yeah,
yeah.
I would agree with that.
Yeah.
Usher, by the way, is doing the halftime show.
Yeah. You know how the police found out about it?
How?
Somebody had made a call to donate it to a flight museum, it looked like.
Uh-huh.
And it's an Air Force museum, and the Air Force museum called the police.
Hey, surprised they called the police and not the Army. Like, does the Army have a hotline number?
I don't know, but if anybody from the Army is listening to this podcast,
they must not have anything better to do.
But I mean, that was one of the 2 stories that I was thinking about talking about this evening. It's pretty big news.
How do you even come across that? Like,
Facebook and TikTok.
Okay, well, they used to have the Army depots where I think they would like decommission a lot of military vehicles, weapons, ammunition.
You can buy a lot of that stuff online for cheap.
And you can buy it, yeah. That it was actually, I guess it was extra and they didn't need it after they got done fighting. And so they're like, what do we do with it? Well, we sell it to the public.
Yeah.
Because my grandfather worked at the one up in Red River County.
Yeah.
The Red River Army Depot.
Well, people from Texas, I'm sure he dealt with a lot of these people, but they would take those rims and tires from Humvees, go for cheap, and people, go up and buy those for their yee trucks,
Yee.
But anyway.
Well, let's get back to the question. We asked our viewers what's their
most memorable vacation.
Yeah. What's yours?
Okay, that I've gone on. I would have to say Oh man, it's tough because there's been a lot of places I've been to that I've really enjoyed, and I really appreciate the cultures and the places that I've been to. Okay, but my favorite all-time trip that I took was we went on a trip to London, England, and got like an Airbnb in a little town outside of London called Egham, and we stayed there for 13 days. And so while we were on this trip, you know, we did all these things in London. It was wonderful. We went over to Oxford. You know, we saw the colleges, did a lot of things, sightseeing there. Went to, Big Ben and did, all the castles and that kind of stuff, which was awesome. But I've had and hosted like 4 or 5 different like foreign exchange students over, my course of my career. And
I did not know that about you.
I've had 2 from Vietnam, and I've had 1 from Brazil. I've had 1 from Germany. And so when I was in London, I got a text message from Maxim, the one that was in Germany, and he's from Cologne. And he said, hey, you ought to take like a day trip and come out and see my family. Plane tickets aren't that expensive. So I started looking at it, and it was like $120 round trip to fly to Cologne back. So for some reason, I couldn't get my credit card to work on Ryanair's website. So I was like, maybe this is not something that's supposed to happen.
Did somebody swipe it after you bought Girl Scout cookies?
Potentially.
Oh.
That was the most expensive $130 I think you've ever spent.
Yeah.
But ended up looking.
Cookies are worth it, though.
I bet.
I got some sugar cookies.
That's awesome. Did you get the tag-alongs? Peanut butter ones?
No,
Those
I
are my
didn't.
favorite.
No, I got trefoils because those are my favorite. The shortbreads and the Thin Mints because that's my wife's favorite.
So anyway, going back to the trip, found an international train ticket, and it was through DB Trains, which is Deutsche Bahn, and you had to take a train from London to Belgium to Brussels, and then from Brussels to Cologne. And so that was the most beautiful train ride I think I have ever been on in my entire life. So there's a couple of places that when I go back to Europe, I'm going to visit. Like I'm going to go back to Liège in Belgium. Beautiful city. Looking from the train station, absolutely gorgeous. And then we got into Cologne, and there was a couple of trains that I had to switch out at along this route, and some of them were pretty sketchy because it was like the chickens being in the crates on the train with you, and the old Mishka, the old, grandmas with the scarves and stuff.
Yeah.
And, it was very intimidating because at some of these stations, there's no English that these people speak. And, I'm pointing to a train at one point, so I'm, do you speak English? No. And I'm like, okay.
Nine.
And she's like,
Nine sprechen English.
This train. And so she was like, grabs my arm and pulls me up to the sign. And it's like the 4th one on the sign. And so as each train comes in and takes off, it moves up a spot on this board or whatever.
Okay.
So she was like pointing at my train, and then like the train would come in and leave, and then she'd point my train in the 3rd spot. I'm like, thank you, or however you.
This reminds me of our train experience in Chicago.
Yeah, it was pretty wild. So anyway, finally made it to Cologne. And the most memorable part of this is Maxime met me at the train station. And so his mom was there, and it was him and his cousin was there as well. And he and his cousin had rode bicycles to the train station, and his mom brought the car. And so she brought the car so that I could put my luggage in there. And his cousin got in the car with his mom and went back to the house. And he took me on a bicycle ride of the entire city of Cologne. And we did this long trail around to the Rhine River. Beautiful, absolutely beautiful. So I will never forget that trip.
Wow.
Yeah.
Did you go on the Austria-Germany trip in college?
No, I did not.
Okay, because we did a train ride from Vienna to Frankfurt back to the airport.
But Amy Jitley and I were actually talking about that the other day.
Oh, my goodness. Yeah, but it was overnight, so we couldn't really see anything. But it was cool to, ride on a train, you know?
Yeah. But I'll do that again. It was beautiful. Cool. And I got to see it. The coolest part of that trip, I think, was that I got to go into the world's oldest still standing cathedral that was not torn down in World War II.
Wow.
It's in Cologne. Yeah.
That's cool.
Anyway, what's your most memorable trip?
Oh, man. I have okay, when somebody's like, what's your favorite of this? Like your favorite movie? you know,
Yeah.
which by the way, my wife totally doesn't believe that that's my actual favorite movie.
I don't either.
No, I really do enjoy it. And maybe it's just in that moment. That's what I wanted to be my favorite movie.
I really hope you're not fixing to say something like, man, I really like going to Dallas, Texas.
No, though I've got some food recommendations there.
Man, I really love Shreveport, Louisiana.
I don't have any food recommendations there. No, I enjoy the vacations so much and the memories I make on them. It's hard to just pick one. All that's coming to mind right now is like my most recent one.
Yeah.
That I really enjoyed. I don't know. This is such a tough question. I should have came prepared.
You knew you were going to ask this question.
I know. I can't say like school trips that I've been on as vacations because I was technically working on those.
Yeah. But I mean, I had to filter through all this, like, been to Seattle, Washington. I've been to, Mexico. I've been to Canada. I've been
flexing.
to, UK. I've been to, Germany and Belgium. I've been to all these places, and I love these things. But that was probably the most memorable trip. You've got to have one that was the most memorable. You've been to Scotland?
Yeah, but that wasn't a vacation.
Well, it was a trip.
Look, it was memorable for a different reason.
No, I understand.
School related, and there was the Ireland trip. Also, there's a story that I will never forget. That experience of what happened there, but I did enjoy those trips. They're very memorable to me, but I just don't consider them vacations because it just I still had to work during those.
Yeah.
Most of the time, technically. I'm going to say that my most memorable vacation spot is probably going to be Boston.
Chicago?
No. That wasn't vacation either.
Yes, it was.
I'm going to say Boston just because my wife probably didn't enjoy it as much as I did because I probably did all of the planning, and it was probably not a lot of stuff that she enjoyed. But, we went to the Fenway Park, saw the Red Sox, caught up with one of our friends that we used to teach with that's from the Boston area. She moved back to Boston a couple of years ago, and we met up with her, and she showed us around some of the stuff. We did the Freedom Trail, Paul Revere's house, got some fantastic pizza in the North End. I rated it a 9.1, I think. Yeah. It was really good. Really, best pizza I've ever had.
Did you stop at the grocery store while you were there? Like a supermarket?
No.
You didn't get some like Lipton tea and throw it in the harbor?
No, we brought our own.
Did you?
No, but we did throw some tea in the harbor. We did go to the Boston Tea Party Museum.
Yeah.
And they let you throw the tea into the harbor, and then you pull it back up on the rope so the next kid can throw it off because it was a whole bunch of kids. We ate some lobster, some clam chowder. Went along the bay. We saw. We didn't go to Fort Independence. We did see the USS Constitution, Old Ironsides. We did what's the monument there? It's Bunker Hill.
Yeah,
Bunker Hill Monument. And I was looking at it, and I was like, hey, it's tall. It's about the same height as the San Jacinto Monument, not as tall as the Washington Monument. But I was like, this one you can go into, and I don't know if you can in the Washington Monument. I don't remember. I don't think you can in San Jacinto. Anyway, but I was like, it's only 297 steps. We can do that. And we got up, and they number the steps every so often. So there's one that says like 15 or one that says 40. And, we got up to step 25, and I'm immediately regretting this decision because it's damp, it's dark, it's humid. The steps are not forgiving at all. And
that reminds me of like the Statue of Liberty.
Is it the same way?
Oh my gosh. Scared me to death. I hate heights.
We got up there, and we looked out. I think we got to like it was like 184 or something like that. And I could see out of a porthole, and I was like, man, it's kind of high up. And I turned to my wife, and I'm like, okay, I think it's good. We did it. Even though there was like 110 more steps.
Yeah.
We turned around, and our legs were shot the rest of the trip. We did the Kennedy Library. We did the thing that my wife wanted to go to that I was like, I enjoy art museums. Okay.
Yeah.
I did not think that I would enjoy this one as much as I would. I knew I would enjoy it, but not as much as I would. I would go back to there in a heartbeat. It's the Isabella Stewart Gardner Art Museum, I think is the name of it.
Yeah.
Do you know what it's famous for?
No.
It is the
Mona Lisa.
No,
Huh.
that's in France.
At the Louvre?
At the Louvre.
Okay.
This is the art museum. It's a private art museum. So Isabella Stewart Gardner came into a lot of money. I don't know if it on her own or if she just married rich and it was her husband's money. But she was a famous art collector. And she collected all of these famous works of art. Rembrandt, Christ Across the Sea, or the Galilee, it's something like that, right? Famous Rembrandt photo. It was in this museum.
And it got stolen.
Up until 1991.
It got stolen.
It got stolen.
My goodness.
And they don't have a clue where it is or who did it. But that's not the only piece. It's the largest art heist in the history of America.
That's interesting.
And they don't have a clue who did it. They don't have a clue where these art pieces are. But the unique thing about the museum, they decided that they did not want to just agree that, all right, we're never going to see these pieces of art again. You can go there and you can still see the frame up on the wall where those paintings were hung.
I would put money that Jimmy Hoffa knows where they're at.
Well, something about Boston. We also went to Harvard.
Yeah.
We went over there. We went to some other places too, but I won't go into the rest of that. But the north end of Boston, there's a ton of Italian influence. And the mob in Boston is kind of overshadowed by like Chicago or even New York. The mob in Boston's a big deal. It kind of still is. But that's immediately what they started thinking was, this is mob related or something. There's a Netflix documentary on it, right? It's like a 3-episode thing. And it just, you're watching this and you're like, how on earth did they do this? And you also, I'm watching it and I'm like, you cannot tell me this is not an inside job. The way that the security was set up and the way it happened, you cannot convince me that it's somebody working for them.
Could have been.
Because
they're probably still working there.
They probably are. This is the facts of what happened, right? The people, there were supposedly 2 guys sitting in a car outside of the museum at a certain time or whatever. They apparently go to the door, and this is what some of the security guards said. They go to the door. They're dressed as police officers. They weren't in a police car. They're just in a normal car, dressed as police officers. This was happening, I think, during the same time the Boston Marathon was going on, which is a huge deal in Boston. A lot of people come in for that. It's a big deal.
Yeah.
Patriot Day, I think, is what they call it. I could be wrong on that. Sorry, Bostonians. And I could be wrong on all of this, too. Watch the documentary and find out if I'm right or wrong.
Again, when we give advice, do not take it with a grain of salt.
Or 3. But
don't have salt. Well, sorry.
And everybody's like, why don't y'all just read this off of Wikipedia instead of trying to come up with this right now? We're driving them crazy. I know. Anyway,
sorry,
they come up to where the security guard office is, and they start telling security guards, hey, we got notification that an alarm's going off. Y'all need to check it out or something. Well, they ended up like duct taping the guards' faces, like covering their eyes and like their hands and everything, put them down in the basement.
Kind of like off that box of chocolates.
And they were, that same duct tape. The thing was like they took their time in this one room about it. And the rooms actually had motion sensors in them that were alarms.
Not that night.
Right? Well, they did. But the thing is, there's, it was something to do with like, there's one alarm that went off on the complete other side of where this room was. And, they tied up these guards and they did it pretty quick, but they didn't have to. Like, there was no reason for them to, but somehow they did. And they did not just, carefully take out these pieces of artwork. Some of them I think they cut out. Or maybe I got that wrong. Maybe it's the other way around. I can't remember. But anyway, it's a unique story. It's an interesting crime that happened. And like I said, they don't have any leads at all.
Should we investigate this in later podcasts?
I'm booking the flight to Boston right now.
If anybody from American Airlines is listening to this podcast now.
We need every VHS tape that you have from 1990 to 1992. We want a list of all the employees, and I'm going to rewatch the Netflix documentary and contact those people. Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm telling you, like I said, you cannot convince me otherwise right now unless you have the evidence that it was not an inside job.
They find it in somebody's deceased. They're deceased, and they find it in their garage, like they found that missile in the garage.
That missile? Did they interview those people? Maybe they have it.
I don't know if they've interviewed it yet or not.
But I mean, there's
a major deal.
There's a couple of Rembrandt photos, and you know the sad part? That's the only one. Like there is not other copies of it. Like that is it.
Yeah.
You know, kind of. I guess there's only one Mona Lisa, right?
Yeah.
So it'd be like if that went missing.
I mean, yeah, that's a big deal.
Yeah.
I
just can't believe it. Yeah, never seen it again. Anyway, Boston's my favorite. It was my most memorable vacation.
Who's your favorite airline to fly when you get to places? American Airlines?
No.
It's mine too.
No, United.
Oh.
If I could afford Delta, I'd probably do Delta, but United is what I prefer.
I don't know, man. Why United?
I've flown American before. I've flown Southwest.
Yeah.
Southwest I like, except they don't have any screens on the back of the seats.
Yeah.
And I'm not guaranteed where I want to sit.
It's kind of like a hit or miss.
Yeah.
Depending on where you're at in line.
I liked everything else about it. It felt very awkward lining up.
Yeah.
You know.
That was my struggle when I first flew with Southwest.
Yeah.
Was the process of lining up.
They also don't apparently have duty free in those airports that they fly. So that kind of made me mad.
And it's like, you know, I don't know. You know how you have like Walmart and then like the dollar store? You know, I feel like, you know, some of the airports that Southwest flies into, it's like the difference between like the dollar store and Dollar Tree.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because, I mean, you know, it's like they don't fly into Orlando. Well, they do.
Yeah.
Like a couple of flights are the more expensive ones. But they typically fly into like Sanford.
Yeah.
Have you heard of Sanford?
I haven't.
Well, I haven't either much.
I know his son. Sanford.
If anybody from Sanford's and Sons is listening to this podcast,
Is that the intro for that?
Yes, I think
it
so.
is.
Yeah.
I don't know.
But American's mine. I like American.
Well, let me tell you why. So I've flown American before.
Yeah.
And you know, I haven't had any bad experiences, except this is a bad experience though. I don't know why I even said that. There was a time when we were on the plane and we sat on the taxiway for like an hour and a half, and then they took us back to the gate because they said there was an issue. But we sat on that taxiway for an hour and a half. It was miserable. Okay, not just because I was sitting there, but because the temperature was uncomfortable.
That stinks.
Yeah, it did. It started to. I've had more delays with them like that, where we're on the plane, we're away from the gate, and we just sit there. And it's, you know, sometimes it's not their fault. I get it. With United, they haven't been perfect, but you know, they have the screens on the seats, most of them. I get to choose my seat, unlike Southwest, and I've always thought the service has been really good. Yeah. And if it wasn't, they just slap me, and I'd be like, "Oh yeah, it's really good."
So I've flown Delta before too.
You don't get that?
Yeah, I did.
Okay,
but I don't think it quite landed.
Most everything I throw misses. So I've walked so many batters.
I've flown Delta, but I just can't bring myself to fly them anymore.
Yeah, I've got a friend whose wife is a flight attendant for them.
All my bad experiences flying, like the really bad ones, took place on Northwest Airlines, and Delta bought Northwest, and I just can't bring myself to fly with Delta since they bought Northwest.
Yeah, I like the plane choices with I like the Airbus, but I mean the thing I like about Southwest, I did like Boeing 737s. Now I'm kind of scared the door's going to fall off.
That's Alaska.
Boeing, Southwest, they should change their slogan to hey, when one door closes, another one opens.
Should that be Southwest or Alaska? Because Alaska's the one that's having all the problems.
Was it Alaska?
Well,
What was the deal with
Boeing did
Southwest?
one time.
No, okay, you're right.
I'm not Boeing. I'm sorry, Southwest. One time. I don't know why.
You're
I said
right.
that.
I don't even know why I said Southwest. It should
It
be
was
Alaska. Are they not owned by the same company?
No.
No. Okay.
Actually, Alaska's a partner airline to American Airlines. They're in the One World Alliance.
Okay. I thought
Almost.
United was One World Alliance.
No,
There's some kind of Star Alliance.
Star Alliance,
Yeah, that's right. They're out of this world.
Nah, I wouldn't go that far.
No, stars are not in this world. They're out of this world.
Yeah, but maybe that's because United should be out of this world.
Yeah, maybe so. Maybe so.
But I'm an American fan simply because of like proximity to places that I needed to go. So like Tennessee, when I go home, American flies there. So, and American flies out of here as well. Tyler.
Yeah, they do.
The greater Tyler area.
Was it Frontier used to fly out of here?
Yeah, but they stopped that.
It was only to Denver though. It's like,
yeah,
hey, you want to fly to Denver? Here you go.
But I would do it for $29. That's what they
was.
were
That how
offering.
much it was?
Yeah.
Yeah, I meant to take advantage of that and I never did.
Well, dang COVID.
Yeah, I know. That's exactly probably what happened.
Did you hear about that house fire where they found a huge like marijuana bust in the house fire?
No.
You didn't hear about that?
No, I didn't.
That was actually in Upshur County.
My home county.
But I wonder how they knew it was one of the biggest like marijuana busts in Northeast Texas. Like with the firefighters, did they get the munchies while they were fighting the fire? Or like, how did this happen?
Well, I mean, they have masks that they wear, right?
But I thought those were supposed to be like filtered air, like respirators that, don't take in the outside environment and bring it inside.
They can't have that in Upshur County. It's illegal.
That's what I'm saying.
Oh.
How does one figure that out when you're fighting a fire?
I mean, the smell, they were probably, like you said, they got the munchies and they started spraying each other with the water hose instead.
Oh, that's terrible. Yeah.
Did they save the house?
I don't know.
Or the product?
I think if there was any product left, it was probably confiscated.
Do you think
Confiscated.
Constipated. Do you think that they're like talking to their insurance adjuster and they're like, why this house is not worth that much? And they're like, no, but it's what we had inside. It's family valuables or keepsakes.
That probably would have canceled insurance. The insurance is like, nope.
We don't
let
allow
it burn. Speaking of constipated, I got a doctor's appointment next week that's going to be fun.
Oh?
Yeah.
What, are they going to use a speculum?
No, but I probably ought to take my doctor this box of chocolates.
No, you can't. It's mine. Haven't even taken the duct tape off of it yet, and you're already trying to give it away.
Sorry.
I mean, no joke, though. I really hope that they were able to save their house so they're not, without a house.
Well, I think just much like that house, this episode's up in smoke. I think it's the end of it.
I think it is, too.
Yeah, so as the sun sets on another Sunday afternoon porch sitting, we appreciate you sharing this laid-back journey with us.
Until next time, stay relaxed and enjoy the simple moments.